how Mark flushed out 30 plus pounds of fake fat after years of fast food and Friday night beers. As soon as I hear this, this is like very relatable for probably guys who look like this, right? So they're like, 30, 40, maybe even 50. They have a big belly. Maybe they work construction, they work a job, you know. So instantly, I'm saying, okay, but he didn't change his diet, he didn't quit drinking, he just did this one thing. Mark, a 47-year-old construction foreman, came to my office after his hours of work. Obviously, this image is AI. I mean, some people they can't really tell, but I mean this type of image, it's fine. They're not usually people aren't really gonna tell too much, and even if they can tell, they'll still read it if it's relevant to them. So it looks like this is written by a doctor. That's the kind of person that they're writing it from. He didn't change his diet, he didn't quit drinking, he just did this one thing. Okay, so obviously this is calling out their audience really well. And I feel like fat loss is a lot different for women and men. I feel like for men, it's a lot less, like the market sophistication is like actually, I feel like it's a lot less for like middle-aged men versus women. So women all the time, they're thinking about their beauty, they're thinking about, losing weight all the time. And men, like a lot of times, they just accept their fate. Okay, that's just how it is. So his beer belly and love handles wouldn't budge, and he was constantly exhausted by 2 p.m. no matter what he tried. Getting older, okay, that's a common thing. It's part of getting older, but Mark wasn't buying it, not at 47. But first, why your belly fat isn't actually real? They got a nice animation here. Ooh. Built up sludge. Okay. Wasn't age, it was accumulation. So they're talking about the liver as the issue. The power wash phase. Accumulated sludge almost immediately. Finally unclogged. Looks like it's the same image here. Which is okay. Sludge. I'm curious how they made this. Right? They made like the same kind of thing here. The constant bloated feeling in his gut, gone, his belly. Okay, so it's like kind of like a third person perspective. Milk thistle. Milk thistle helping your liver cells break down. Transformation that shocked everyone. Obviously, all these images are done by AI and they don't look that real. You can make better images. Like, you can use Nano Banana, you can use. There's so many like AI image softwares out there. Just test them out. Like these guys they're not even generating the product in his hand, just a person. You can literally find images of people, like just going online. Like realistic images of people, a lot of times it's hard to find images of them. I just go on Pinterest. Pinterest is where there's like the most realistic images of people that I find. That's like you can just search for them and then you'll find it. Like you search 30-year-old woman, right? You'll be able to find some really good images of real people. Already had lost 12 pounds, dropped a starting belly weight, energy stayed all high. Okay, studied report energy. They're making it easy to read with this graph. I like that. Science is clear. Arova milk thistle detox. So this is like a milk thistle liver function. Root problem is the junk underneath. They already said that. The 6 liver nourishing ingredients. That's kind of the mechanism right here. The ingredients. One easy capsule daily. They got some trust here. The real risk is waiting. After 15 years, it gives by 21 days. Wasn't getting older. They have a buy box here. Okay, it's interesting. What is milk thistle? What our customers say about us? Okay, so they're running like kind of an advertorial with like the product page right here where they don't actually have to click a button. So they got reviews here. Boom, try now, add to cart. They're running some fat-free blueprints. Oh, okay, and then their subscription as well. So they're selling milk thistle, which supports healthy liver function. Okay. Right, and they're selling the ingredients. So first things first is, I know this advertorial is actually kind of short. Let's see how many words this is. I mean, you don't need a long advertorial as long as, 900 words. Okay, yeah, this is really short advertorial. Now, you don't need a long advertorial for everything. How much is this? $80? It was $80. $83 for a 4-month supply. Now, first of all, before someone hits this kind of product page or hits the product, right? They see the month supply. If I'm writing an advertorial for this, I would definitely talk about like exactly this Mark guy, his experience with this product, right? They did day 1, day 10, day 21. They kind of went over like the results and everything, but they didn't really have a product introduction. They didn't have like scientific backing like to actually prove it. I mean, they have this, but I mean, this is just a graph, okay? Obviously, it's like a study, but I would probably add more scientific studies. Okay, when you're selling like a detox capsule, right? You're just selling like a pill. You kind of have to sell it a lot more than just some like product that they can visualize themselves using, right? This is a pill, right? A milk thistle pill. I would probably like focus on milk thistle supporting healthy liver function, right? So I would talk about milk thistle. Let's see, what is milk thistle? Is milk thistle a plant name for white veins on large? Okay. What is milk thistle good for? To treat liver conditions, right? So, I mean, if there's multiple ways of treating liver conditions and they're saying liver is a problem, right? In my mind, the objections the user, the reader, the prospect is thinking of in their mind is why would I not go with a different liver supporting supplement, right? Because there's different things that, because I know there's liver that affects fat, right? You can talk about bile, thinning bile, which is one of the angles that I seen one brand use for their liver supplements. But when you're talking about like milk thistle, why is milk thistle a better healthy liver supplement than other supplements, right? I didn't really see any kind of like competitor or like competing products, like other products, why they don't work, maybe there's like some sort of liver clinic that clears your liver, right? I didn't see like the selling points, right? If you're gonna go flush out your liver at some scientific clinic, right? Some doctor's clinic, how much is that gonna cost versus this, right? And then also like these people, they're looking for like 4-month supply, 2-month supply, 6-month supply. I didn't really see like Mark gave his body in 21 days. Like if you see results in 21 days, then why would you need more than a month's worth of supply, right? I didn't see, oh, they need to consistently take it over and over again. I didn't, like, all I hear is promise, but not much proof. And that's really important when writing advertorials, right? You can promise the world to them, but if they think that they can't get the result, there's no point, okay? You might be able to sell, but you're not going to sell nearly as much if you didn't if you didn't like clearly explain to them and help them believe that they can get the result that they're looking for. There's this one example in breakthrough advertising where they were selling like a TV. I'm pretty sure it was like a TV, and there's like a manual how to fix your TV. And most people, they didn't actually believe how to that they were able to fix your TV, even if they know the TV manual had everything that they needed to fix the TV. They still weren't sure if they could fix it at all. And so they didn't buy the manual, and it was a complete disaster. But only when they can actually, convince them and help them believe, then they started buying the manual, and it became successful. And when it comes to losing weight is that market weight loss is like the market sophistication is out of the roof. Okay, there's so many things that people tried weight loss for. It's not only pills. They've tried like different, you know, there's different kinds of supplements. Maybe there's powders, drinks. There's like exercise equipment, right? There's gym for weight loss, a subscription gym membership. Maybe you have like a gym fitness instructor. Maybe you had like a gym program, right? Maybe you have like some classes, some Pilates classes, or maybe you have this obesity clinic program. There's so many things with weight loss. For how many years? Let's see. How many years has weight loss products been out for? Right? So when you're selling to, look, thousands of years, right? If you're selling to people who have seen like all these kinds of solutions, right? I've heard of liver products for weight loss, okay? But like, why would they buy your product versus elsewhere, right? Why would they buy your supplement versus other people's supplements? Obviously, their main thing is they have these 6 liver nourishing ingredients. But like, I would like they directly says it says milk thistle, okay? Like maybe you can write an advertorial why milk thistle is helping, like, how milk thistle helped Mark flush out 30 pounds of fat, and then they have milk thistle right here, right? So that's kind of my thing. This advertorial, in my opinion, it definitely needs a lot more explaining. It needs talking about competitors, why they don't work, and why they haven't worked. Because if someone's reading this advertorial, clearly they still have the problem, okay? And they've most likely tried other solutions. And if they've tried those other solutions and they're still looking for the solution to their problem, obviously they've experienced those things before not working. You know, you have to make it relatable to them so that, oh, these actually don't work, right? And so they can say in their mind, oh, my experience was, yeah, it didn't work. And then they're like, okay, I'm going to try this new solution, which is your solution. So I would definitely add a lot more text and images to help explain it, right? They have this nice kind of scientific diagram, but really, like, I would have like, you can even have like an image diagram with words like that's pointing out, oh, this is the liver, this is the fat, and this is how draining looks like. Because, right, scientific diagrams are really good, but this is not really enough to kind of like explain the mechanism, right? I see some stuff happening, like, some oil coming out, but I would need a bit more proof to add in this advertorial. That's what I would personally do, right? And I would make the Mark story like, I would add a bit more, make it more relatable. I'll talk about maybe his wife making fun of him, kids making fun of him. I would kind of like, cause men, right? They're selling to men that like are just looking to lose weight. Okay, men like they a lot of men who are like 40 to 50 years old, like this Mark guy, they obviously they want to lose weight, but that's not really the main thing, right? Like a lot of men that at that age, they kind of accepted, like, okay, I can be a bit fat, I can, you know I still want to drink beers, I'm fine having like this kind of beer belly, right? And basically, selling to those guys, you kind of have to sell like the emotion behind it. You like it's kind of like these guys, they're fine even being at a higher weight. Like, if we're just comparing them versus women, okay, women at that age, I mean, they'll still be fat. They most likely will, if they lose weight, they'll probably gain it back anyways. But women want to lose weight more than men at that age. Men, like, I mean, they just want to keep doing what they're doing. But when you're pulling the emotional strings, okay, like, you kind of need to do this for men, where you're like, I was ashamed of being this kind of weight in my healthy family, or you kind of have to like sell that kind of emotion behind it. You gotta sell the outcome behind it, right? And then you became happy. And here they're not really doing that. They're vaguely explaining their kind of supplement, which is like, I guess the main thing that I'm seeing here is like, it's a supplement that they probably never tried before, and then there's gonna be people who are gonna try it. But really, if you're selling this kind of product, let's say this is a new kind of product in the weight loss, which people are selling liver supplements for weight loss already. But let's say it's a new product, like, you can do a lot more sales if you're just framing it as like a completely new solution, where it's like researched, and then you have different articles and everything. Let's see, milk thistle for weight loss, Reddit, right? And go to Reddit, just like see these people talking about all these complete and utter nonsense. Whoever told you is full of it. I'm sorry, but there's no miracle supplement you can take to increase your metabolism in no way. Okay, so it looks like someone was selling milk thistle to increase metabolism. These guys are selling milk thistle to reduce their accumulated sludge, okay? And then there's also, liver supplements to clear up your liver bile that's keeping you fat, right? There's so many different kinds of angles that you can think of. Buying the crap out of milk thistle and be a $1 billion industry. Most supplements are really useless for average person. So straight up, you can probably just like implement this in the advertorial, right? You can just include a story like, I read on Reddit, and then you can like, maybe you can even put a screenshot of it, right? Where you read on Reddit, oh, this person said this person said that, and then you're like, I listened to them, I did these things that they said, but it wasn't true. So then I actually tried milk thistle. Like, you're just literally straight up mentioning that objection, right? You're not avoiding it. You're mentioning, oh, people say that milk thistle does this, does that, and then I was like, I tried it for myself, it did work. Or you could say, I was the type of person who believed supplements didn't work, and then it actually worked when I tried it. Like, you can be very creative when thinking of concepts of how to frame the story. Like, you can come up with any type of story. Just make sure that you're thinking about your client, your prospects, right? Who are you selling to? These guys are obviously selling to middle-aged and older men who have a beer belly and like to drink beers, and like to eat fast food, and have a big belly and want to lose weight. So, I mean, they have this kind of doctor making this. I would probably include a lot more copy, of course. I would include an article, talking about like why, like studies as to why it works. I would include people's experiences. You can even like screenshot like Reddit. I don't even see advertorials that do that, where they just screenshot like Reddit posts, complete and utter nonsense, right? Or you can just screenshot some things like talking about like, oh, I used to be a person who didn't believe in this, or I used to be a person who didn't believe in this, and then I started doing it myself, right? So you start to get those kind of customers that like, there's obviously the same objections that people aren't going over, and that you're just going over those objections, and then now all of a sudden you have a whole new like group of people who are gonna buy from you, right? Because that's very important with weight loss. Like, people are very skeptical in weight loss. I mean, it's been around for so long, and there's so many promises and everything, and that's that's basically it. When you're running in like a sophisticated market, you got to be thinking outside the box. You know, what type of things you can use as leverage to sell people, and what objections they already have. And that's kind of your advantage because they've tried so many things. It's like easy to write a story that's very relatable and just straight up, you know, saying, oh, my solution is the real solution that actually worked. So, anyways, if you're writing advertorials, you can keep that information in mind, right? If you're running like a weight loss company or even any advertorial in general, like what I see with advertorials, people they typically follow the same kind of structure, right? Like they're talking about an experience of someone, and then they're talking about the process, day 1 3. They're always including these same things, these same concepts, but they're not actually thinking why it works. Okay, why does it work? And in this case, right, I would definitely include more relatability, but also like I would fight the objections. Objections are super big in this market, right? People are skeptical in weight loss. They've tried all these solutions, gone to gyms, gone steps, cut their calories, and you know I would definitely put more into explaining it because this is kind of something that you have to explain just a bit more in this kind of market. These guys didn't even have like 1,000 words, right? It's 900 word advertorial, and they just put their product straight up there. And they probably you can probably sell, but you're not gonna scale at like a large volume, right? Unless you get these big objections out of the way, right? So, anyways, if you're making an advertorial, keep that in mind. If you need an advertorial, I'll make advertorials for brands. Message me on X. My @ is in the description. I can build an advertorial for your brand, and yeah, that's basically it.